Presenter number 15 from Grouping 2, Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences is Dr. David Brennan from Federation University with a presentation titled The Copyright That Time Forgot. When you're ready.
Thank you. I feel I've got a few disadvantages today. First of all, I have to follow on the secret life of pufferfish. But more pertinently, I have to talk about one of my subject areas, which is copyright law, which is generally destined to send many people into a coma. But also, I'm a non-empiricist, and so unlike much other research, not only do I have to describe my research and explain my research, but I also have to, I think, implicitly justify to you all that it actually is research, because it's easy to think about legal research as not being proper research. I'll try to disabuse you of that. My topic is dealing with this problem. In Australia today, an unpublished work, a letter, a manuscript, music, which is not made public with the authority of the author, has a perpetual copyright term. It lasts forever, at least until lawful publication. So, to illustrate this, Charles Evans wrote a contemporaneous diary of the Eureka Rebellion, which remains unpublished. That means that it remains in copyright, and it will remain in copyright if the law doesn't change forever. Indeed, it will remain in copyright long after Mark Latham's diaries, which were published in 2005, have lapsed into the public domain. Mark Latham's diaries will lapse into the public domain and be everyone's common property 70 years after Mark Latham's death. Okay. But when that happens, Charles Evans' diaries continue their copyright term. That is, unless the law is reformed. Now, one of the challenges for anyone doing legal research is that to change the law like this, you're dealing with a law which has been this way ever since copyright existed, as I'll explain. And so you have to explain how is it that the law ended up in this state, what conditions led to it being in this state, and how have those conditions changed so that the law should change in a rational, progressive, logical way. So why did it come about? The first modern Copyright Act was in 1709, and it set a term of copyright of approximately 28 years from publication. It was a statute. The judges in England, however, had, independently of this law, identified that as a kind of a human right, authors should have natural protection for their works. Now, this was led by a particular judge, Lord Mansfield. I was going to include a non-static element in my presentation with Lord Mansfield winking at this point, but I wasn't technologically capable of doing that. But you can imagine him winking at us right now. Lord Mansfield identified two things that justified this protection. One was a kind of authorial privacy. That is, if you've written something, you should have a right to keep it to yourself if you so wish. And it's the sort of interest that, say, a particular professor in Sydney or a particular senator from Canberra would want to enforce against their private writings at the moment. But separate to that, Lord Mansfield also thought that this right should extend past lawful publication forever. This went to the House of Lords in 1774. The House of Lords accepted the logic for authorial privacy, but rejected that that should continue after lawful publication. Now, that position from 1774 has more or less remained to today in Australia. That is to say, authors have privacy, authorial privacy that lasts forever if the matter hasn't been published, and that continues through the generations. Australia's the odd one out. America changed its law in 1976. England changed its law in 1988. There, they harmonised unpublished copyright to be the same as published copyright. There is no impediment in Australia from that happening other than the power of people like me to try to persuade it to be the case. Thank you.